nostalgic.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wax Nostalgic, podcast where we turn the clock back on the good old days. I'm your co-host, Graham Johnstone.
I'm Sam Bagnall.
And I'm Ryan Kerwin.
And today we're going to be doing another podcast talking about things we remember from when we were kids. We'll start it off pretty quick, talking about, and the item we're talking about today is bikes. Everyone's ridden a bike?
Yeah,
At the table, certainly, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Mini bikes.
Many bikes.
Yes.
Mini bikes?
Mini bikes and mini bikes.
Okay. Lots of different stories then. Graham's ready for it.
Yeah.
Anyone particularly interested in starting us off?
We can start with the worst and go to the first after that. How does that sound?
Okay.
Is yours the worst?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's like such a stereotype of like when you're a certain age, you get a tricycle and then you get a bicycle and then you're just like a kid with a bike and you're going everywhere.
Yeah.
For some reason, I kind of like skipped a lot of that stuff and I just like didn't know how to ride a bike at a certain age. I think we must have had a tricycle when I was like a little kid, when I was like 5, 6, that kind of stuff, or 4. I don't know how old kids are.
Yeah.
But then my family moved around a lot, and maybe that was part of why I just didn't feel confident riding a bike. But I have a strong memory of my parents must have gotten me a bike, and we lived in Hong Kong for a while, and we lived in this kind of very urban-y area, flats. What do you call flats in America? It's just like apartments that
like
are
apartment.
Yeah, but like not a tall building.
Gotcha.
I remember I was like, I'm gonna learn to ride my bike today, and so I was just like going around on this like really dirty cement road around this apartment, and just like falling over, like catching myself, and just getting covered in dirt.
Okay, I was gonna say you emphasized that it was dirty pretty strongly.
Yeah, exactly.
Why?
Because I remember at some point like my dad came out and found me, and he's just like, what are you doing? You're so covered in dirt right now.
It's pretty bold, though, for a kid to just be like, I'm doing this, and then going and just crashing and stuff. Like, I feel like most kids get held up.
Were you an intrepid child? Were you precocious?
In certain ways, probably, yeah. That's the primary adjective I'd use to describe myself. Yeah.
And how old were you? Do you recall?
I was like 7, maybe, something like that.
Okay, but 7. Wow.
Yeah, but I don't think I really got the hang of it there because I was holding myself up a lot. There was like metal rails and stuff like that, which was where a lot of this dirt was coming from.
Yeah.
And I just remember my dad getting annoyed at me because I was like getting so dirty. But then I think the time that I remember like actually getting the hang of it a bit was after Hong Kong. My family moved to the UK. We were living in England, and we went on a trip to Cornwall, which is, so we were living on like the east side of England. Cornwall's like on the west side. Kind
of south, right?
Yeah,
Fairly
like southwest,
south.
Exactly. And we did this like rent a bicycle, go on a trip for a day sort of thing. And so by the end of the day, I feel like I was getting the hang of it.
Nice.
At the start, it was maybe a little bit iffy.
Did you like cycle the countryside?
It was country lanes, through the trees.
Okay,
it was very scenic, Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Sounds lovely.
Yeah.
And then you just
adult.
picked it up and you just went with
I
it,
think
right?
I'm sure with kids as well, this is again part of that trope, in a movie when a kid's riding a bike, it's like, Dad, I can't get it, and then like the dad's holding them, and then like they take their hands off and it's like, I'm not even holding you anymore, and it's like it's when you get that like
that happened to you, but you were like 15, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. No, it's like I think it's just understanding that like equilibrium, and like as long as you're moving forward, you will stay upright sort of thing.
Just keep moving.
Right,
Don't
right.
hit the brakes.
Exactly, yeah, because I think starting out that day, maybe I was like, getting a little too iffy. But yeah, then after that, I was pretty good. I did like a bicycle skills course at my secondary school in England after school for a week.
Nice, there you go.
Yeah.
Did your brother ride bikes?
I feel like he's always been more like athletic than me, which I know bike riding maybe it's kind of athletic. It's just,
Definitely.
physical skill.
It's different than like ball sports.
It's not like a competition
right.
kind of thing.
Unless you're racing, yeah. No.
by that I mean like you're not like you don't have defenders to like throw a ball through.
Right.
And stuff like that. So.
I think there are versions of cycling that have this. Yeah.
Is there like defensive cycling or something?
Yeah, I mean like
battle cycles,
and track cycling and
Jousting.
racing and stuff.
Joust.
Bicycle joust.
Yeah. No, I just remember in that skills course they were doing things like, you had to like, swerve around an obstacle, but then one of them was kind of like bike limbo where they set like a bar and then they kept lowering it until it was like, the height of the handlebars. And you'd like be able to like get down off your seat.
It's
Yeah.
dangerous.
Oh my God, dude. Like what?
Brought to you by Ringling Brothers.
In what? My question is, in what like real world situation would you have to do that? Like,
Listen,
where are you riding?
sometimes-
You're on a high speed chase
Right.
on a bicycle, and
From the cops.
you're going through a parking garage,
Yeah.
and there's one of those like little arm things.
Oh,
the
yeah,
parking
yeah.
Garage, and
Yeah.
You have to,
Oh, that's
you either
smart,
bunny
yeah.
hop over
That's
it
a
or
good
you
point.
go underneath it.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what they said in the class. Were you there? No?
Yeah, I taught it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm Joe Ringling.
It's like
No way.
Yeah.
like a bicycle class for criminals. Then they give you a balaclava.
They did. I thought it was just because it was chilly, but no.
They're like, all right, so you're going to have to also carry 2 duffel bags on each shoulder full of what amounts to about 400 pieces of chunks of paper.
That's right,
Paper
exactly.
money. It's
Yeah.
Monopoly money in this exercise. But
Exactly. Yeah. And they filled up the saddlebags on the bike with gold, so you'll be, ready for the
Gold
weight
bars.
of that. Yeah.
Yes.
sick. I think that was
Yeah.
that was the concept of the movie that Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in.
Oh yeah, the Courier or
the
whatever.
bike one.
Yeah.
I think it was called Rush.
He's done some interesting movies.
Yeah.
There was one I watched, not my choice, on a plane. It was one of those planes where they only have this
Want
like
the single
yeah.
movie playing? Yeah.
And it was I can't remember what it was called, but it was about a tightrope walker who like walked a tightrope between the World Trade Centers when they were still there, obviously.
Oh, I remember that movie.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he did like a fake French accent for the whole movie, and I could not get over that.
It wasn't a good one.
But he did a
Not
French
fantastic.
accent and spoke English.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, we tightrope walk.
Yes. Were you in that movie too? Yeah.
Bad news,
Was
guys.
his name
I'm
Jacques or
Joseph-
Pierre? Was his name Jacques or Pierre?
It was Jean-François, actually. Yeah.
There you go.
Or Thierry?
That's right. So, but nowadays I can ride bikes fine. I'm not
Yeah.
the best cyclist in the world, but, I have a bike. I rode it to and from work when I used to not work at home. So, yeah,
Utility.
You know Louis Armstrong.
that's true.
Sorry, Lance Armstrong.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah. Also,
Louis Armstrong, yeah, the guy with the one nut, right?
I think most people call him Louis Armstrong.
Louis.
Yeah.
Okay.
The trumpet player. Anyway, yeah.
I did a trumpet motion, but I wasn't gonna do trumpet sounds, but I did a trumpet motion in the.
Yeah.
I used to play trumpet, remember?
That's right. Yeah,
We
callback.
talked about Louis Armstrong.
Yeah.
Louis,
yeah.
prior to this.
That's true. But then now I'm a big boy, so I also have a motorcycle. So that's my other two-wheeled transportation.
Cool.
So,
It's
yeah.
growing up.
That's
Evolution.
cool, dude.
Yeah, I haven't ridden in a while.
Do you have
I
a
should do that.
motorcycle jacket?
Yes, yeah, I've got all the gear. It's a ATG ATT, all
Yeah.
the gear all the time. So like even if you're just going down the street, put it all on because you never know what's going to happen.
Do you ride with like a cigarette? Like your hair slicked back? And
Do you have a
Yeah, just like
cigarette
rolled
hole
up.
in your
just
helmet?
inside. No, I just
drilled through the
The trick
helmet
is you got to
so
smoke it
can
enough that it's like short enough that you can close the visor on it. Yeah.
There you
you
go.
just hotbox yourself.
Open the visor.
Right, because otherwise you're wasting all that smoke. But if you do it inside the helmet, you get to breathe it all in.
That's
so,
a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my
The make-
philosophy.
The making of Ghost Rider.
Yeah, that sounds like a good origin story to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, worst of the bicyclists. So yeah, who wants to go
That's
next?
a great story.
Cool.
Either way.
I
Great.
can go.
Sure.
Yeah, so I grew up like, riding various things with wheels. I remember I always wanted a Power Wheels. But
The like little Jeeps.
yeah, no, that's not a
everyone-
bike, but like I was always like I always loved just kind of going, like but I was never allowed. I never allowed to have one because it was like too expensive.
Were you precocious?
Oh yes.
What other big words would you describe yourself as when you were a child?
Yeah, septuagenarian.
Isn't that like Joe Biden?
So yeah, people in their 70s.
Okay.
I think he's in his 80s. So
I was a child when I turned 70.
Octogenarian.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. But you were not that as a child.
I was definitely not an 80-year-old child.
Benjamin buttoning it.
Right.
Yes. I was a mature child.
Okay.
Yes. But no, for bikes, like, so like, I had a tricycle that I loved to ride, first of all, and that was like, super little, like
big wheel style.
I had a big wheel, or I'm pretty sure I had one, or I know at least one of my friends did, because I remember riding that, and that was super fun.
Mm-hmm.
But then my dad got me a bike, and that was like kind of like, you graduate. You go from like tricycle, like kid stuff,
Yeah, sure.
and then you're like, shit, I got a bike, dude. And we put the training wheels on.
Of course.
So I rolled around with that for a while. I think the bike was black. It was like a cool bike. Like,
nice.
It had like decals on it. It's probably a Huffy.
Some flames,
I think,
or some, some lightning bolts.
Yeah,
or
I think there was a
crackles
lightning bolt or something on it.
Excellent.
Yeah. And then one day, I think I must have been 4 or 5. I was probably 5 because we hadn't moved to our new house yet. But we were like at our old house, and like we used to ride around the street, up and down the street. And then one day he's like, "All right, you ready? Like, should we take these training wheels off?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do this." And I don't remember. I probably like fell over or something a couple times, or like started to go and then like kind of stopped.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But I just remember, like, I do remember that moment that I got it. Like, he's holding on to me like you said.
Yeah.
Just it's like such a like stereotypical like
Right.
like
movie moment.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
is like
Like-
he's
like
holding
Titanic,
on
yeah,
and
nice.
like
In
The
and you're
background is,
going
like, angelic singing.
Right.
as Graham's dad releases him.
Right. Was it all happening in slow motion? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and he's like, just let go, and I just was like so determined. I was like, I got this, and I just went.
Nice.
And like it's funny because I feel
That's
like
right.
once
It's going still.
like they say there's that term like it's like riding a bike. I
Yeah.
feel like it kind of was like even in that moment, like the moment that you understand how the physics of it work or whatever, like
Right.
you can't like you get it.
Yep.
It's just immediate.
Yeah.
So
It just the like failure portion is gone.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I always knew how to do this. I just needed to unlock that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So, and I remember the bike I had the brakes where you push back on the pedals.
Coaster brake.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So then when I graduated to like bigger bikes when I was older, you know how it's like, oh crap, I gotta like
use my hands.
all right, how does this thing work? And then the only thing you got to worry about is like don't jam the front brake.
Oh, yeah.
'cause
Do a
then
little
you
endo.
go flying. So there's a little learning curve there, and then I never did get. I know some of my friends were like into BMX and stuff. Like when I got into middle school and high school.
Yeah.
There was a Dirt Hills Park down from where I lived, and like
Cool.
used to go down there with my mountain bike.
Was that in
Nice.
Colorado?
Yeah.
Was that where was that?
It's in Arvada.
Okay. I was gonna say because there's like the one that I would talk about, the Flumes. That's like Highline Canal area.
Yeah,
so.
it was like 80th and Wadsworth
Okay.
area, and it's funny because like I haven't been up to that area in like 10 years or like a long time. And then I happened to go meet like a client up there, and I just like drove by. I was like, I wonder like what's going on in the neighborhood, and it's still there.
Yeah.
Nice.
And like
probably like better
dude,
than ever. Now.
I mean, I would have thought somebody would have developed like somebody would
Right.
built houses on it or something, but it's just still like open space
So
land.
you can
and-
still be the one.
I should go back.
Still open for you to go and buy that land and develop condos.
Just piss off everyone.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry, kids.
those are your precious childhood memories.
Get my
Nobody else should
revenge.
get them.
No. The thing is, like, I would go down there, like, this is like nerdy kid with glasses, like a mountain bike, and I'd be like,
Kids with glasses are nerds.
yeah, like you too.
You didn't have glasses when you were a kid.
When I was a kid.
You're just now becoming a nerd.
That's right. Yeah, I came into my nerddom at about 11, so it's also a bit late, but not as late. So
Well, I used to go down there with like a mountain bike, and I would always like think I was like a big shot, and then I would like either I'd chicken out and I wouldn't jump the jumps, but I had the wrong bike first of all. But then I wouldn't jump the jumps, or I would jump it and totally freaking like bomb, dude, like hit the dirt. One time I hit the dirt, and I was like. I was like dusting myself off, like what the fuck? And this
Other
guy,
cool
this
kids
other,
are like jumping over
no,
you.
there's this
no.
kid. I just heard this kid yells at me. He's like, "Get off get off the dirt mound, you fucker, or something.
Whoa.
Like he's like yelling at like
Aggressive.
obscenities at me or something, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. So I had to drag my bike off.
Oh no.
I've been there.
So yeah, you're right. I should develop it and get my ultimate
That's
revenge.
right.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
crush all those kids.
That's right. No, yeah, your story about going over the jumps and stuff, that reminds me of a story I was next to.
Yeah.
So because I wasn't the most confident bike rider, one of my best friends when I was like 10, 11, 12 years old in the UK, I would go over to his house and we'd do sleepovers like once a week almost sort of thing. And he had like a ton of land. His dad was a farmer. We would just like build things in the garage, that kind of thing. And one day we decided we're going to make ramps to jump the bike over.
Nice.
But I was like, I'm not confident enough, so I'll help make the ramps, but you get to ride the bike. And I remember like we were having some success. It was, going well. We got it up to a certain height, and I think he just like panicked and kind of slowed down when he was on the ramp, and of course just like biffed it.
Yeah.
And yeah, he like scraped up his knee pretty bad. And that was also the day that I learned that he was super squeamish. Like having that much blood trickling down his knee, he just like had to go and like,
everywhere.
well, he didn't throw up.
A little bit of blood. Just
He wasn't puking, thankfully, but like we had to go back in the house and he had to like lie down and like his mom was like giving him glasses of water and stuff, and I'm just like, what do I do now? So,
go shorten that jump. Go cut it down for the next time.
Oh man.
yeah, but I felt mildly bad because I had forced him into the position of being the only one going over the jumps.
Yeah.
But hey, he was having fun until he wasn't.
Until he wasn't. Yeah. So I don't know. That's kind of it. And I'm a pretty good cyclist today. Like I have a road bike.
Mm-hmm.
My friend introduced me to like road bikes at some point. Like, and I was like, oh, this is what's up. Like,
Yeah,
it's
road
fun.
bikes are cool, especially
Yeah.
for like adults. Like,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that mountain bike, but it's more sustainable. Just road biking, you're not jumping, you're not crashing a lot. The crashes are bigger when you do.
Yeah. Well, I used to commute. Well, I lived in and still live in the city, and like, I found it was like a great way to get around town.
Sure.
You were like exercising and you can go fast.
Mm-hmm.
I can go
A lot
like
of
up to like
shortcuts.
20, 30 miles an hour if I like hit this, downhill back wind at my back kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and
Like,
a lot of the times, like bike paths are shortcuts.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to go on conventional roads.
Right, go through
be
the
with
paths
cars,
across the
so-
bridges. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, that's it.
Well, for me, bikes are a huge part of my life right now. I've been working in the cycling industry for 16 years, so
Well, big shot over here.
But when
You've
I was
seen a thing or two.
I've seen a lot of things.
A
Bikes
tire
are-
or two. Yeah.
Yeah, bikes are basically all I do and think about most of the time. Unfortunately, most of the time. But my family growing up, my family is not bike people. Like,
Oh, interesting.
like I didn't have a real good bike until I was probably 17. Like 16
Did you have
or
to buy it
17.
yourself with your own money and stuff?
Yep.
Okay. You didn't
but-
buy it at Walmart, did you?
I guess I can't say it was 17. It was probably 15 because
You're avoiding the Walmart question.
no, I didn't. I bought my first real
Not that
bike.
there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah,
No, my first real
we love
bike-
our non-sponsors.
Wally World. No, my first real bike. I had to be like 15 because I bought it from my best friend who was currently working in the bike shop that I still work for, and it was a BMX bike. And I when we were kids, we had these like Huffies and Mongoose and like things like that were just like shitty, Walmart bikes basically.
Yeah.
But my dad wasn't a bike person. My older brother, hated bikes forever. Like, it was not something that we did. And I wanted to get into skateboarding, and so I started skateboarding. And my best friend, who was across the cul-de-sac from me, was super into bikes, like BMX specifically. But he was working at the bike shop, doing all this stuff. And I was at the age where I was like, okay, I want to go to skate parks and start learning how to do skateboarding and whatever. So I started going to the skate park with him and was learning how to drop into like bowls on my skateboard, and it sucked. I was hating it. I was just not having fun because
You kept like biffing, huh?
yeah,
It's
just
like,
eating shit and whatever.
It's like
and,
concrete and like
Yeah.
whatever. Like those falls are not.
yeah,
are
and
not
it's
great.
just, like,
And you didn't have
jarring.
glasses yet, so you weren't a nerd enough to wear elbow pads.
Right.
Yeah.
I was not even a nerd enough to wear a helmet because I was like,
Oh,
I
no.
gotta keep my hair pretty, and I did that most of the time while I was riding BMX. But
Yeah.
it was like the third time I went to the skate park with him, and he was like, "Dude, why don't you just try my bike?" And I was like, "Fuck no!" Like this, I keep eating shit and it hurts on the skateboard. The bike is like big and fast and no way. And he was like, dude, just try it one time. Like all you got to do is roll up to this 4-foot bowl and just basically don't lean back. Like it's really easy. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll try it. And so I went and first attempt dropped into the bowl and it was like, what? I've been trying skateboards for like weeks and trying to figure this out, and then just this first try, and after that I was like, how do I get a bike? And he was like, well, I just bought a new bike and I'll sell you this one for cheap. He's my best friend, so he hooked it up, whatever. And then kind of just never looked back. Like I got super into it. I was like BMX skate park type rider for the most part. Got super into like not flatland riding, but like street sesh, like doing, bunny hopping off of stuff, doing tricks like in urban settings versus at like skate parks and things.
Nice.
So I did that, but started working at the bike shop when I was 16 years old with my best friend, and it's just kind of been a big part of my life ever since. So
awesome.
Do you still BMX?
I don't. I can still, like, not that long ago, one of my buddies pulled out his BMX bike and I like hopped on it and I was like hopping around doing some stuff, and kind of all of my peers that I was hanging out with were like, wow, like I wasn't refined, I wasn't like pro, but they're like, wow, you could still do a lot of the stuff that like most people couldn't do until years into learning. Like I was pretty good.
Right, because you're old as sin now, so that's pretty impressive.
Exactly, I'm ancient.
Are you an octogenarian?
He is actually Joe Biden.
Oh my God.
The reveal.
You really
pull off my Sam mask and I'm Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Pull off my Joseph Gordon-Levitt mask. Guess who's underneath? Joe Biden.
It's Joe's all the way down, baby.
Have you guys
Joe's
seen
all the way down, dude. Nice.
That's good.
You're very coherent for to be Joseph Robinette Biden.
Is that his real name?
It's his real name, dude.
Yep.
Have you seen, speaking of bikes, have you seen the video of Joe Biden crashing his bike?
No. Was this recent?
Dude.
It was like a couple years ago.
Okay.
But he was just like riding in some like ride parade rally thing or whatever, and he's like riding, and he has some like shitty old bike, and he has the like toe cages that you put your feet in. And
he couldn't unclip.
He couldn't get out. He wasn't like clipped in. He just had his like feet in the little cages, and he like comes to a stop and just like and like falls over. It's a really funny video from the perspective of he's the president or whatever. But it's kind of sad because really it's just like an old man who can't get out. Right. Like, if you zoom out and take the like who he is out of it, you're like, oh, that sucks. But since it's him, you're like,
whoever got that bike for him should have thought a little bit harder.
Oh, they're probably fine. Whatever staffer that was.
Right.
Yeah.
We need to get you out and getting some exercise. Get your blood pumping, Joe. And he's like,
what if my feet slip off the pedals? Don't worry.
We got something for that.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll have to show you the video later. If those listening, you can just type in Joe Biden bike crash on YouTube. It's not like epic or anything. It's just like this.
I might actually just like overlay it onto the video.
Wait,
link underneath.
Should we just pause and pretend we're watching it?
Yes.
Oh wow, poor guy. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean that wasn't a very specific story, but it was a big part of my life for most of my life, really.
Yeah.
Like, but my family is still not bike people. Like, finally got my older brother into bikes a little bit.
Okay.
My dad just got a bike for the first time since he was probably a kid.
Wow.
Recently.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you're the guy to talk to. I mean.
Yeah, you're quite precocious, if I say so myself.
Is that what you would say? Shit. Yeah, but that's bikes for me.
Nice.
Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about surrounding bikes or Joe Biden or any other Joes that you can think about? Joe Rogan. He wasn't really a big bike guy, I don't think. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. Joe Mama.
Oh no, my mom I don't think can ride a bike.
Okay.
He just got your ass.
That's true.
Anyway.
For those keeping score at home.
One zip.
Oh, dude. I'm going to go tuck my tail between my legs while we do our not sponsors.
Ooh.
Oh. All right.
See ya in part 2.
Hey, Jock, it's me, Peter. I was just wondering if you had any suggestions how I could spice up my pizza game.
My friend Pierre, I'm sorry, I'm not the best resource for this. I'm French and we prefer to use butter on our food rather than hot sauce.
I wonder if there's a place where we can learn about these types of things.
Hello, my name is Graham. I am the host of a podcast called Spice Freaks. If you're like many of us, you struggle every time you go to the store, or go to the hot sauce aisle, or go online to try to find something to spice up your life. Well, look no further. Want for naught. For we have the resources. We have been to the hot sauce Valhalla. We can show you the way, the spicy way. Please come with us. Join us, spicefreaks.tv. We are also on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Just look up Spice Freaks, and we will whisk you away to a land of spice nirvana.
Spice Freaks!
Spice
Let's
Freaks.
try that out!
Oh, sounds good to me, Pierre.
All right, welcome back to part 2 of this episode of Wax Nostalgic. Next, we're going to be talking about concerts. You guys have any fun concert stories that you want to talk about?
Heck yes.
Excellent.
Who wants to go first?
I'll start it off this time.
Okay.
So, concerts are a big part of my life.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Being a musician that you are.
Being a musician.
Oh, I thought you were a
concerts are
magician.
Magician.
I tricked you there. So I have a lot of concert memories, but the most like fond, far back one that I have before like ones when I was a kid would be my first few concerts that I went to without my parents. So when I was
yeah.
old enough to go to concerts, and I wasn't going to like, you know, Backstreet Boys at Red Rocks or at Pepsi Center or whatever. It was like I was
Backstreet
going
Boys?
to, I think my first concert that I ever went to without my parents was Megadeth
Oh, okay.
for Gigantour, and a lot of the bands that I was really into at the time, like a lot of metal bands, things like that, were the shows were 16 plus, and this was when I was like 14-ish.
Oh,
and
that math doesn't add up.
Right. So for Gigantour, I specifically remember my brother's friend was like over 16, and he gave me a photocopy of his birth certificate.
Wow.
Yeah. Brent McKenzie, holler. You're the man. But he gave me a photocopy of his birth certificate so that I could show it and have proof that I was older than 16.
That's
and I still
fantastic.
have a copy of this dude's birth certificate somewhere in my house. But the other one, the more specific one that I remember was on my 15th birthday at the Gothic Theater. It was The Devil Wears Prada, A Day to Remember, Silverstein, Protest the Hero, not in that order. It was almost backwards order, basically.
That's embarrassing for you.
Yeah, but I was 15. It's my 15th birthday. It was a 16-plus show, so we're going to this show, and we went there and found this, like, lady in the line that had, like, a kid with her, and we're like, hey, you're going to pretend that Sam is your son so he can get into this concert. And she was like, all right, cool. So it's like, you know, mom of some other kid was like, I'll just group you in, you know, cool, great. And it was one of the most memorable concerts. Still, I mean, Devil Wears Prada is still one of my very favorite bands of all time.
Nice. Would you say that was a day to remember?
It was. It was definitely a day to remember. Just recently saw A Day to Remember at Red Rocks, just like last week, and it was pretty awesome.
Did you hang out with the mom the whole time?
No. As soon as we walked in, we...
Did she adopt you afterwards?
Yeah, you're like, you're my new mom.
Yeah, thanks, Mom. Yeah, she did not take me home with her.
Oh, okay.
But
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
A little young for that, aren't we?
Yeah, to be adopted.
Yeah, still some of my favorite bands, but I specifically remember we like hung out until afterwards, and there's like the side parking lot where all the bands' tour buses would like park.
Yeah.
And at the time, the guys in The Devil Wears Prada, who was my favorite band at the time, were probably like, they had to be like 19 years old, something like that. They were maybe like early 20s, something like that. But they were like young guys, and they weren't a big band at the time. But they were just like hanging out in the parking lot under like a little tent with like, you know, just like drinking some beers or eating some snacks or whatever, just hanging out. And it was like after the show, and nobody was like, there wasn't lines out the door of people like wanting autographs. And so we went and like, hi, like said what's up, and then just like sat and ended up hanging out with them for like an hour afterwards.
Nice.
And just like sitting and chatting with this like group of dudes, and it was
Yeah.
like they signed my T-shirt, and I still have that shirt.
Did you ask them not to?
Yeah, I was like, can you? I really want this. No,
Did they sign your tits?
They did not. Again, a little young for that. I hadn't really fully developed yet.
That's fair. That's fair.
It wouldn't have been any fun for any of us.
Would you say that's like seeing these musicians just humanized as real people? Did that affect your approach later on of like when you were becoming a musician?
I do think so,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that being able to see these guys that I looked up to, and they were just like down to hang out with some kids and just like chat and just like be real, was like a huge influence on how I tried to approach it later. Like,
Yeah.
I, you know, didn't ever want to have like big head. Like, I always wanted to have my fans to be my friends, as cliched as that sounds. But like,
Yeah.
it was a thing, and I think it did contribute to how
Did
I
you guys have a lot of
later.
groupies? Like when you became a band?
I wouldn't say a lot, and I wouldn't say groupies.
So you can just say no.
Well, it's like we did have like, you know, some people that I would say would fall into that category, but like I think of groupies as, you know, people that are like, you know, you're sleeping with or like, you know, going after and using or whatever.
So like
which I don't
a teddy
think
bear would be a groupie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like, and I got several of those. No, but we did have like groups of girls and even groups of dudes that were like, you know, our close followers that would, you know, groupie out. But it was like, yeah, the word groupie just has like a weird negative
I got it.
connotation that
Yeah.
I don't
So
want to
so
bring
like
to
when
that-
so like
that
when you
situation.
when you like ended up hanging out with your fans, we'll just call them fans because
Yeah.
that's they are. That you kind of adopted that kind of like mentality.
Yeah, I tried to for the
Nice.
most part. It was always like, you know, we would go and sell tickets. We actually, for this one group of girls, one of the girls had a birthday party, and her parents like hired our band to play at her birthday party,
cool.
which was kind of
Yeah.
cool at the time. And then we just
Awesome.
like hung out. We like played our set and then just like hung out
some
at her
birthday
birthday
cake.
party. Yeah, at her party, and it was fun.
Caused a ruckus, yeah.
Yeah, that was a little later.
Did you break some
Oh, yeah.
TVs and
Yeah.
Not this time, but
Just eating handfuls of birthday cake. We're people too, just like you.
yeah.
Yeah.
That being said, we did start to get a bit of a reputation after a while of being kind of party boys. Like we were a little crazy, a little chaotic. Like later in life, our band house that we had was like definitely a party spot for a long time. So we were known to be friends with people, but a little later we ended up kind of being like kind of the party guys for a while.
nice?
Got to try on different hats, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which hat are you wearing today?
None of those ones.
Oh, okay.
I have dropped all of the hats, and I just let my hair down from
Nice.
from time to time.
He's a responsible young man. Hat.
My responsible young man hat, which is just a toupee.
I was wondering. I didn't want to ask, but
Yeah.
yeah.
All of these luscious locks are actually just a wig.
Yeah, that's fair. You pull it off at the end of the day, I'm sure. Yeah.
I like it.
Take it off, rinse it off in the sink. Cool. Well, that's my concert story.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Nice.
Who's next?
I can go next.
Cool.
Okay.
Ha! Skipping Graham. No.
Quick enough.
Well, I promise I didn't bring this up off air intentionally, but I'm going to talk about Weird Al.
Cool. Yeah.
Because, yeah, like, I'm sure I went to, like, some concerts and things when I was younger, but none of them really stick out in my brain. You know, it was, like, maybe some, like, local concerts, that kind of thing. But, like, the first concert I remember going to, like, after my family moved to the States, it was one of my good friends in high school, still one of my best friends. I won't name him in the story for certain reasons you'll understand, but he and his mother and his aunt were going to Weird Al up in Denver. We lived in Colorado Springs, and they just had an extra ticket. And he was...
Remember how old you were? Just
Yeah,
curious.
I was like 17 or something
Okay,
like that. Yeah,
nice.
so it was like near the end of high school.
Yeah.
But he was just like, you know, he just came up to our group of friends and just said, hey guys, got an extra ticket for Weird Al. Who wants to take it? And I was just like, I love Weird Al. And he's like, cool, So we went up there. We had a wonderful time, fantastic time. It wasn't until quite a bit later that I realized that the reason they had an extra ticket was because he'd been dating a girl for a few years and they had just broken up.
Oh, man.
So I took his ex-girlfriend's.
He invited her to Weird Al. She was like, we're done.
No, it was one of those things. Maybe I was 18 even, because I think it must have been like senior year of high school, because I think it was one of those things where they broke up because they're going to go to different colleges, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. He's happy now. He's got a different wife. He's got kids. This kind of stuff. But yeah, it was kind of rough for a while. And I'm sure I didn't help it by just being like, "This is great, Weird Al. I love Weird Al."
Yeah. One man's trash, right?
Right. But it was his Straight Outta Linwood or whatever. The one where it had like White and Nerdy and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of fun stuff. Came out riding a Segway, that kind of thing. But yeah, no, I've gone to a lot of other concerts since then. But maybe half of those concerts have also been Weird Al. So
okay.
Oh man, have you toured with Weird Al?
I haven't
He was
toured
like
with Weird Al.
Deadhead, but
he just
a weird head.
You just follow the tour
Weird
bus. Are you a groupie of Weird Al?
I would like to think so. Yeah, because I sleep with him in my mind.
Okay.
That is to say, when I'm asleep, he's in my mind. Nothing lascivious or whatever the word is. I don't know. We're trying to use big words today.
$2 word.
Yeah.
Lascivious?
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I've seen him 5 times in concert.
Wow.
But slightly cheating because 2 of those were like back-to-back nights. Because he had a tour 2 years back called it was the Return of the Ridiculously Self-Indulgent, Self-Obsessed Vanity Tour.
Okay.
And I'd seen the original Ridiculously Self-Indulgent, Self-Obsessed Vanity Tour when that was going around. But then, like, after COVID, he was like, hey, we need to get out and, like, start doing stuff again. So he did the return of the Ridiculously Self-Indulgent, Self-Obsessed Vanity Tour. I'm just going to keep saying that as many times as I can.
Yes, please do.
But he announced at one point, like, on Twitter or something like that, which used to be a social media platform.
I've never heard of it.
No, yeah, you may have heard of X, which is a totally more brandable, marketable name.
I call it Twix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he announced that if he's in a city for 2 nights, it's going to be a totally different set list each night. And the whole purpose of these tours, the Ridiculously Self-Indulgent, Self-Obsessed Vanity Tours, is that it was like a lot of his back catalog stuff, because he's got all those like super popular ones, which even if you're not a huge Weird Al fan, you probably have heard, like Albuquerque, White and Nerdy, Amish Paradise, that kind of stuff.
Diet.
Yeah.
Or,
that was actually not one of his most famous ones, but that is a good Weird Al song.
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was on his Running with Scissors album. But so he has all those ones that just like everyone expects to see every time, which a lot of like famous bands that have been around for a while, I think, kind of end up in that zone of just like they've got these classics, and like if people don't see that, they get disappointed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the whole purpose of these tours was to do more of his back catalog and like the ones that people don't get to see as much. And honestly, it was really fun because like I definitely heard some that I had maybe heard like once before, but I never like really paid that much attention to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, this actually is a really fun song,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he always puts on a good show. So. I guess
awesome.
this mostly just turned into me ranting about Weird Al, but
This is great. Yeah. You're passionate.
yeah, Weird Al, if
Weird
you're
Al
listening, I should get one.
should
I don't
get
have
one.
any tattoos, but that's probably a good choice for a first one. Yeah,
Weird Al.
I should get it like on my cheek, right?
Ooh. Yeah.
You should just
yeah.
you should get a tramp stamp, dude.
Oh yeah, that would be
That
good.
would be pretty funny though.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny. So, yeah, no, but Weird Al, he's very good live. It's funny because I think if you listen to his like very early songs, he's like leaning very heavily into the like kind of obnoxious humor, like another one rides the bus, it's like very grating. But over time, like just doing this for like 50 whatever years he's been doing it, he's just like, he's a very good singer now, and he's been playing with the same band the whole time. Like his backing band has been with him since the start, and they can just parody any genre. One of the things he did on his, I think the first Ridiculously Self-Indulged, Self-Obsessed Vanity Tour was at the end of each night, he would just like cover some rock song. It was like a different song at every stop on the tour. And he like wouldn't announce it, just they'd pick one. And yeah,
cool.
It was just like fun to
Kind
hear.
of like jam bandy, cover bandy, but also
Right.
like
Yeah.
pro.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah,
I'd
exactly.
like to see Weird Al. I mean,
You should. Yeah, if he's coming to town again, I will certainly let you know.
Yeah, please do. I would love to.
We should do a podcast from the concert.
Oh my gosh, yes, that would be awesome.
That would be wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird for sure.
That's
That'd
right.
be weird.
He also just seems like a super like nice dude in real life. Like if you ever watch any
Yeah.
like YouTube videos where he appears as a guest, he's always just like very humble. He's been like so successful in like the comedy and music industry for so long. And he's just like this really down to earth nice dude who's like very generous with like promoting other people's stuff, and yeah.
Maybe
so
he'll promote the pod.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I assume so after I've just
Weird Al,
done
if
all
you're
this
listening.
Mr.
publicity for
Sir
him. Yeah.
Albert, please
That's right.
Is it King Albert or Sir Albert?
Lord
Prince
High Master. I don't know. Yeah.
Wait, what? Prince Albert.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
Isn't that a piercing?
it is.
Oh, is it?
It's
Oh.
a penis piercing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, why
'Cause
don't you,
I
describe
think
that?
didn't it used to be like a type of tobacco? Because that was like one of those stereotypical like phone pranks of like, do you have Prince Albert in a can? And they say, yes, we do. And you say, well, you better let him out.
I don't.
I don't know that. I've never heard.
That one went right over my head.
Must be a British thing.
It's like wait, you be the guy. Okay, ring ring.
Hello?
Is your refrigerator running?
No, it's been broken for the past couple of weeks. Are you an electrician?
No.
It's
Okay,
not.
I'll call Graham instead. Hey, Graham, ring ring.
Hello.
Is your phone? What was I saying? Is your refrigerator running?
Yes, it is.
Well, you better go catch it. I didn't realize the first guy would have a broken fridge. That was on me.
Yeah, it's,
It happens.
it happens. Everything is moldy and wet.
That's story of my life.
Cool. So,
I have the same problem, but it's not my fridge.
well, anything else about Weird Al or Graham? You wanna tell us your concert wiles?
Yeah, let's jump to Graham's concert.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like as a kid, let's say, I didn't really go to concerts or anything. I remember like one live music experience that stands out to me is we went to Opryland
Oh, cool.
in I think it's Nashville, and we saw a concert in there. I was with my mom. I was probably like 7 or something, and one of her friends, and we saw a concert. It was like a country. I don't remember who it was. It was some country lady, and the only song I remember is she was singing "All My Exes Live in Texas."
Oh yeah. I know that song, but I can't remember who does that one.
I don't remember. I
Yeah,
don't.
probably several people. I don't know. Yeah.
It's public domain.
A lot of people's exes live in Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been the original singer is long dead.
Probably.
So anyway, that was interesting, but let's say like at some point like in my later teens, early 20s, I think is when I really started to like, getting more interested in live music and stuff. I remember one year we went to Warped Tour, which was super fun.
Nice. It's my favorite
I think it
holiday.
was down. I think it was down by. It was like in the parking lot of either Elitch's or.
Yeah, it was in Invesco
Invesco
for
field?
a while, and then I think it was in Invesco parking lot, and then it moved to Pepsi Center parking lot, or vice versa. I think it's vice versa. I think it used to be in Pepsi Center parking lot, and then it went to Invesco,
Gotcha.
the football stadium, for anyone who's not.
Yeah,
not
Mile
from
High
Colorado.
Stadium, basically.
Yeah.
And that was like super cool because it was like kind of like a festival, like almost like it was like a whole day of stuff. Like
And it's kind of like like the punk bands of the time,
Yeah,
right? Like
totally.
yeah.
oh yeah, and there was like hip hop, there was all kind of stuff, and there were different stages everywhere. So like
Gotcha.
my friends went and saw somebody, and then I went and saw somebody else. And
Nice.
like-
Totally. I saw Katy Perry at Warped Tour one year.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was like
Nice.
before she popped off.
Nice.
Yeah, just a fun fact.
Was she performing, or you just like saw her?
No, she was performing.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
She was performing.
Hey, Katy Perry. Oh, hey, Sam.
Yeah, G-Eazy performed at Warped Tour.
Nice.
There's like a lot of fairly big like pop artists, I guess, now
Yeah,
that
I think
that
you're
kind of
right.
got started there too. So
Gotcha.
Pretty sure I saw Pennywise there.
I'm sure you did.
I'm
I
like-
saw Pennywise there.
I'm a big
So-
like I love like punk concerts
Sure.
and shit. Like there was a while there like in my 20s where like I had a friend and we would just go to like every punk concert.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I saw this was like more recent, but I was not a kid, but we saw Rancid and Dropkick Murphys.
Oh, cool.
nice.
Is
Together.
that at Fiddlers?
It was at the park downtown with the dancing statues.
Oh, cool.
Right on Spear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
They turned that into like a venue. It was
Nice.
actually like that was another cool part about it. It's right by the Performing Arts Center.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are those statues dancing? I always thought they were like fighting or something.
I don't know.
I think they're dancing. I kind of take it as like an interpretive, like.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's like a
dancing thing.
Rorschach test, like.
I think it kind of because some people think they're aliens or something. So
yeah.
Aliens aren't out of the question. I think they're amorphous,
Right.
people-shaped.
They could be dancing
humanoid-
aliens, yeah.
one time I saw Blink 182
Nice.
at Fiddler's Green.
Nice.
That was cool because they were like one of my big heroes like when I was younger.
Are they contractually obligated to keep their eyes open so they don't turn into Blink 183?
Yeah, they hit that limit and can't blink anymore.
They hit the limit.
Yeah.
It's just like how some 41 can never add again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to tangent too much, but the drummer that was in my band for a super long time, his uncle was Blink-182's manager for several years.
Wow.
So he had like some big industry connections through that. The guy
Cool.
who was in my band.
Nice. Did that help your band much?
I
or?
didn't because his uncle unfortunately had passed away by then.
Oh,
But
gotcha.
like anytime Blink-182 comes through town, he like goes and gets like backstage and like goes and hangs out with him because they're like, "Oh, Andy, what's up, man?" Like,
Sweet.
Like they know him still from even when he was a little kid. But
That's pretty cool. Are they the ones who they're from San Diego, Blink-182? Would you guys know that? I used to live in San Diego, and I feel like they were one of the ones that
Probably.
came up a lot.
So, right?
I mean, look
Okay.
at them. They're
I think so.
they're
but
very
honestly,
definitely
I
Southern
don't know.
California
Yeah.
something. Like,
That is fair. I feel like that they were one that came up, and then like Tony Hawk was the other one who's like San Diego native, yeah, kind of thing. Yeah,
That sounds right to me, but honestly, I don't know off the top of my head.
It's also not an interesting fact. I don't know why I brought it up.
Sure it is. What would you say was your favorite punk show that you ever saw?
Ooh,
That's a tough one, I'm sure. But
what's the well, I can't think of the band name right now. They're like a
very impactful.
it certainly wasn't a day to remember.
I can't remember the name of the band, but the experience I had was very memorable.
Drugs.
Drugs, potentially. No, it was one. I can't believe I can't think of
Sing their songs.
It was a like an Irish, like one of the Irish punk bands.
But not Dropkick Murphys.
No, there's another one. I can't believe I can't remember it. I'm pretty sure.
Flogging Molly?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was Flogging Molly.
Sounds right.
And we were down there and like the crowd was so wild, like they were pushing, everybody's getting pushed up against like the fence.
Oh, yeah.
And like it was a point where it was kind of just like you were like this, like a pancake.
You're just a particle in an ocean. Yeah.
Yeah, and then at some point, like, you know, we were like moshing, and then like we stepped away from the pit, and then the shitty thing is, like, you're moshing and you have glasses and you're like trying to hold them on or whatever. And I was like, all right, cool.
Wait, were you a nerd?
Didn't lose my glasses. I was. And I got LASIK. Now I'm not a nerd.
Hell yeah. You just gotta pay to play, man. Just pay to play. With enough money, you can become whatever you want to be.
That's right, not a nerd. Yeah.
Anyway, so like, stuff. And then all of a sudden it's like, I feel something or whatever, like on my shoulder, like something. I can sense something's over here. I turn, and this foot comes. Somebody's crowd surfing.
Oh, yeah.
This foot comes and just boom, and my glasses just go fucking flying off.
Oh no!
And I'm like, no! And then I part the crowd, and I like form this circle, and I'm like, I can't see shit, man. It's dark and my vision's terrible. So I'm feeling the ground, and in
Velma
Jinkies.
the meantime, I know that like they were just being crushed into smithereens by like 100 feet, dude.
Did you find them?
So I go through the whole concert without vision. Everything's blurry. And at the end of it, I'm with my friend and his brother and like
your seeing eye friend,
friends. Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, help me find my glasses. And so we start looking around, and somebody finds a lens.
Oh.
Somebody else finds another lens from another pair of glasses.
Nice. Okay.
And then somebody finds like the stem, like the
arm,
but it's like bent like this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, your glasses.
Did you try to put it all back together?
I tried somehow to like.
We can rebuild
So
it. We
you
can
just
make
take
it stronger.
You just take the lens and pinch it between your eye and like a monocle, and you're like, "This is gonna get me home."
Guys, we can fix it. I know we can.
Yeah.
So I went without, and I wasn't making any money. I was poor. I was like, how am I going to be able to buy new glasses? Like,
jeez, yeah.
So anyway, it was the whole thing, and I had to like go and be without glasses for a while, and
people who don't need glasses, they don't understand what it's like to not have your glasses when you need them.
My vision was really like this was as far as I could see.
For
Jeez.
those audio listeners, he's got his hand about 6 inches in front of his face.
Yeah. And then like
Yeah.
that was like out of focus.
Yeah, so you were probably crashing your car quite a lot at that point.
Yeah, I would never consider driving.
Oh, that's
He can
smarter.
see
Yeah.
the steering wheel. He's
Even
good.
if I did this, like, you know, it wouldn't work. And I'm
Yeah.
squinting for those audio listeners.
Yeah, no, I used to break a lot of glasses when I was in like middle school because
Oh, dude, that was the worst.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, because I would like try to do sports in like gym class or whatever, and I just like drop my glasses and they'd break, or I drop them and someone would step on them.
See, for
Your
me,
parents didn't think to invest in some like of the fitness goggle glasses that like strap around your head.
I wasn't a very athletic child.
They're like, this is a waste of money.
dude, for me it was like, you know, I would like get hit in the face with a ball.
Oh, yeah, no, that happened to me too. Yep.
And I would always, that was like gym class. I'd come when my mom's like,
Yeah.
God damn it, like,
Yeah.
this is another, what is wrong
Yeah,
with you?
no,
Why
I
do you
remember.
keep
I remember
breaking
some
your
very
glasses?
specific bruises, like right along the lower rim of my glasses. For those who are not seeing this,
Yes,
but yeah,
for
it's like it gets
listeners.
smushed into your face, and then you just get like a bruise right there.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they would always bend out and stuff.
Yeah.
And we'd have to,
So far, I've not dealt with this. I've just gotten glasses.
We can throw some
in
balls at
when
your
I turned
face if you
30.
like.
well, the good news is you won't deal with that because you're not in gym class.
I'm not doing gym class. I'm not moshing.
That's true.
There's very few things
What if we
that will
what if we
me at
put you
risk of getting
what if we put you in a Saw-like situation where you have to go through all these experiences with your glasses now that you have them?
a saw like?
Yeah, like Saw. You know, like you're chained up in a basement and you have to do gym class.
As long as that's the risk, is like breaking your glasses.
No, the breaking glasses is part of the punishment. You will be killed if you don't participate. Yeah.
I'll get back to you on that one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we do need your consent before we can do this. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, don't have me sign any papers in the next couple of days.
Okay. All right. I'll
Guys,
I'll
I don't
Graham
know
it.
how to tell you this. You're already in Saw. We're not leaving this room.
All right, so that concludes this episode of Wax Nostalgic. Thanks for listening.
Shit got weird.
This was a weird one. It's pretty fun though, and we had a
Thanks.
good time.
Thanks, guys.
Bicycles and concerts.
Yeah, let us know if you have any suggestions. By now, we should have our emails and all of that up and running. So let us know if you have any suggestions or questions, or you just want to tell us hi. And yeah,
Or if you want to sign Sam's T-shirt.
I have
Or his
one
tits.
specific T-shirt that anyone can sign. I'll send it out.
You do like you can do like traveling pants or whatever. Wasn't that a thing?
Sisterhood of the Traveling.
Yeah,
Pants.
didn't they send pants around or something?
did.
Yeah, you can do. Yeah.
That was the whole shtick.
Episode's over. Stop bantering.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Wax Nostalgic Podcast was produced and recorded at Black Dove Studios in Denver, Colorado. Audio post-production and engineering by Sam Bagnall. Video production and post-production by Graham Johnstone. IT and social media management by Ryan Kerwin. Check out this and other creative projects by adding to the noise at attnlab.com. That's attnlab.com.